All right, now we're going to look at uncertainty in measurement. The learning objective here is for you to be able to get an instrument and identify how precise that instrument is and be able to use that instrument to get a measurement from. We're going to look at rulers and thermometers and graduated cylinders. A balance is a little bit different, and we'll get to that when we look at balances as well. When you're looking at any instrument, there's a variety of information on that instrument. It will tell you the number scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, etc. You also have a lot of tick marks in between those. Those little tick marks indicate how precise that instrument is. What decimal place are we reading to? So obviously, the more markings that you have, the more precise it's going to be. The instrument will also tell you what unit are we measuring in. Are we looking at centimeters or inches? Are we looking at millimeters? Are we looking at milliliters or liters or kiloliters or pounds or grams, etc.? So that information is the first thing you should look for on an instrument. Take these two graduated cylinders, for example. This is a 10 milliliter graduated cylinder. You can see that because the numbers go up to 10. This ml right here stands for milliliters. This TD20 degrees Celsius tells you that it means it's going to have a total delivery at 20 degrees Celsius. So that's where this is most accurate, is at 20 degrees Celsius, which is a little bit below room temperature. But the accuracy isn't that far off for a few degrees either way. This is a 50 milliliter graduated cylinder. If you could see the rest of this picture, it would go up to 50 milliliters, and you'd see the same information up at the top. Going back to the 10, you're going to look at your numbers first of all. You can see that the big lines are every 1 milliliter. This is 10 milliliters, 9 milliliters, 8 milliliters, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then you have these 4 tick lines in between. So you need to look at this and say, what do those tick marks, or what do those markings mean? So here you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for every 1 milliliter. So 1 milliliter divided by 5 is 0.2. So this is going to be 9.2, 9.4, 9.6, 9.8, and 10.0. So this goes to the 0.2, or to the first decimal place. When we look at the 50 milliliters, we have a big line at 25, a big line at 30, a big line at 35. So every 5 milliliters. Here you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So this is going to be to the ones place. So you're looking at 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. So to answer this question is which one is more precise, it's going to be the 10 milliliter on the left, because your markings are at a lower decimal place. One of the key points that we're going to be dealing with measurement is estimating that last digit. No instrument is infinitely accurate or precise. You could always have a more accurate measurement. Generally, the more accurate you get, or the more precise, the more precise you get, the more expensive that instrument. And you don't always necessarily need a more precise instrument. So you always use what's necessary. So when we do this, we're going to start off looking at our value of our markings, figure out what we're looking at. Then you're going to read to that mark, find the closest mark, and write that down. Then you're going to estimate that next digit. If it happens to end in exactly 0, you got to put that 0 there. You're going to estimate that last 0. So here's an example. This is our 100 milliliter. This is a 100 milliliter graduated cylinder. So the first thing we're going to look at is, what do our marks mean? Our big line here is 50. Our big line here is a 60. So that means there's 10 milliliters in between here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have, it's going to be tenths. 10 milliliters, or it's going to be ones place, excuse me. 10 milliliters divided by 10 is 1 milliliter. So this one's 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. So we're going to read the bottom of our meniscus. The meniscus is the very bottom of the water. You can see there's a slight curve here. The ends are a little bit higher up. That's because the water's sticking to the sides of the glass. And we want to read this bottom part. This has been calibrated. When it's manufactured, it's made to where the bottom part is going to be correct. That's going to be your accurate measurement. So when we look at this meniscus, we have it is between 51, 52, and 53. So it is between 52 and 53. So let me go to my pen. Give me a black pen. All right, so we have 52 because we're at 52 to 53. So now we need to estimate. What is that last part? That's as close as we can get. It's somewhere between 52 and 53. So because that line is pretty close to the 53 mark, let's go ahead and estimate that as 52.8. And we have to put a unit, milliliters. All right, this digit right here was our estimated digit. So we're good. We put an estimated digit in here. Let's look at this graduated cylinder. This graduated cylinder is a 25 milliliter graduated cylinder. So here we have tick marks every 5. So let's see where we are here. We have, this is going to be, we have these big ones. There's one right here underneath the liquid. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that would be 5. So each of these, this one right here, oh, let me go back. Get my pen out again. All right, this one's going to be 11. This would be 12 in here, 13, 14, 15. So this is going to be between 11 and 12. And it looks like we're right on this line. All right, so that line is the halfway mark. You can see like here, this would be 13.5, 14, 14.5. So we can read this to 11.5, and we know that. That's not an estimate. We're not guessing that that's 5. We can see that it's right there on that line. So we need to go in and put a 0, and then add our unit. So in this case, this 0 is our estimated digit. All right, that is the tricky part, because a lot of times we'll just put 11.5, but we need to remember to add our estimated digit. That tells your audience or whoever's reading your data that that's how precise your measurement is. All right, let's try it again with this green line. This is a ruler. The ruler goes on. We want to imagine this green line starts at the very beginning of this ruler. So it starts at 0, and it comes up here to this line. All right, here we have our markings at every centimeter. And so each one of these in between is 1/10 of a centimeter, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 43. So in this case, we're looking at .43, and I would say that we're going to estimate this to be at 43.0, or we're not estimating, we're saying we know it's between 43.0 and 43.1. And you could even at this point, this is going to be your estimated digit. It looks like it's right past the 43, so I'm going to say it's 43.01 centimeters. This 1 is estimated. All right, that 1, if you put 43.02, it would be correct. If you put 43.00, it would be correct. The key here is that we have that estimated digit. That tells us it's just past that 43.0 mark. Alright, I'm going to give you a couple seconds and see if you can do this thermometer on the left. This is being measured in degrees Celsius. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is identify our markings. We have 80 and 90. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 markings in between here. So each of these is 2. So here this is 82, 84, 86, and 88. So we know that our measurement is somewhere between 80 and 82. So in this case, we're going to have to guess on that last digit or estimate. So I would say this is 81 degrees. Let me erase that and rewrite that a little better. Alright, so we have 81 degrees Celsius. Alright, the 1 being our estimated digit, because we don't know that for sure. It could be somewhere else in there. If we're looking at this one, let me give you a second to figure this one out. Look at this thermometer and identify what your precise measurement is. Alright, the first thing we're going to do here is identify what are our markings. We have 30 and 40. Again, these are all in degrees Celsius. So then we have 10 tick marks in between here. So you automatically know this one's going to be more precise than this one because there's more tick marks in between the tens place. So here we have 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. You're quickly seeing why they don't number all these. Alright, so ours is going to be somewhere between 34 and 35. So I'm going to start with 34.0, and now we need to estimate. Looks like it's a little bit more than halfway. I'm going to guess, we'll say 34.7 degrees Celsius. Again, I'm just estimating that 0.7. Alright, that wraps up this. We'll have some practice for you, and hopefully you have an understanding of how you measure. It is expected that you measure precisely throughout the year.